Whoa, the light, did you see the fucking light change? Anyway, I'm gonna make a video responding to some of these comments that I'm getting about the last couple videos I've done. And besides that, I'm gonna get into, because people are talking about what is actually skill in a video game, okay? Like sometimes people think I only talk about the execution factor, but actually I have made other videos about skill in video games, gameplay wise as well, but people can't keep up, I guess. Like here's the thing. I am more than comfortable with having a conversation, an intelligent conversation about video games, but be sure you can actually have the conversation with me because most of these responses aren't even intelligent. No one is actually given like actual reasons to argue what I'm talking about, right? And I'm going to talk about one of the things I'm going to talk about this skill thing too is Daigo recently said that he didn't think he was naturally skillful. So this is actually what this is going to be about. But first of all, let's get into this execution thing that people still don't seem to get what I'm talking about. And I got Pikachu here. Like I said, he's actually on disability, dude. He doesn't even have fucking three paws or three fingers. He's got two fingers. Fucking disabled stuffed animal here right now. So let's talk about some of these things people are still trying to argue about what the fuck I was talking about. So when I was talking, I purposely brought up the Balrog tap punch, and again, people said, "Well, you could do this." Okay, yeah, people do charge with this with the kick too, and then they press it like that, dude. They just hold down, but whatever, dude. I don't think you get. I don't know if like maybe we're not both all speaking English. I tried to use words like dexterity and logistics, right? And the reason I brought up specifically Balrog's turn punch is because unlike say two punches here, whatever on this, whatever, even on arcade stick back in the day, there was a dexterity problem, a dexterity skill you had to have to do certain things. There was nothing that, oh, well, the controller is being left out here because the controller is purposely being shitted on because it can't easily do this. Even on arcade stick, through a dexterity problem, you had to have a dexterity skill to do some of this stuff. Again, like we only have five fingers. There are six buttons. People are like, oh, well, you could use your thumb to press these too. Well, no shit, fucking Sherlock. I fucking played video games, fucking idiot. I know how it works. I know it's physically possible to press another button with both your thumbs in the same fucking way you can press a different button with your thumb on a controller, you fucking idiot. But what I'm getting at is there is a dexterity problem, even on an arcade stick, to do some of this shit. There is a dexterity skill. It's six buttons. We only have five fingers. By allowing us to button map, we can now do things that are not humanly possible normally. We have more use of our fingers. Pikachu, God, if anyone should build a button map, it should be Pikachu, dude. He can't even hit more than one button. Bless his little fucking soul, dude. Anyway, so I don't know. I don't understand why people don't understand me using words like logistics and dexterity, right? Other people trying to say I don't know why people are still trying to argue that um the game developers they wanted it. There's no reason to believe that. Like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? There's no precedent to believe that the developers ever wanted you to button map, okay? What the fuck are you talking about? I gave the Guilty Gear example. That game came out on console first. When it came to arcade, it actually had less buttons, okay? Look at a game like fucking what are these fucking what's that one fucking shit game? Blaz Blue Cross Battle Beat Mania, whatever the fuck it is. The game is only like three buttons, right? Is one button a tag? I forget, dude. I played the game for like 5 minutes. Only this game is shit. Anyway, so if we're to go by that, even back in the day, the game that made fighting games famous, Street Fighter, had six buttons. Now we have a game like Blaz Blue Beat Mania, My Ballsack, whatever the fuck it's called, right? I think the game like three buttons and a tag button. I don't even remember, but whatever the case, that game has multi-button functions. Like again, little guy talking about gameplay, that shit is fucking retarded. Two button DPs, two buttons, whatever, right? So you're telling me the standard fighting game, Street Fighter 2, which is six buttons. Now we have games like Blaz Blue Beat Mania, My Ballsack. It's three buttons or four buttons. And it still has two button moves. They could have used two other buttons for these fucking moves, dude, right? But they didn't because I mean, what are you guys trying to argue, dude? Like, what can I get this bullshit, dude? Sonic the Hedgehog, dude. Sonic the Hedgehog, we're playing Sega. Well, this is a Sega Saturn pad, but Sonic has 3 buttons. Or if you had a 6 button controller back in the day for Genesis, you could have played. Do you think they made Sega? Do you think they made Sonic was meant to be played for 6 buttons? No, it's just you can just use the other buttons still to jump and do whatever because they're fucking there, dude. It's as a courtesy. It's not as the game was meant to be played, dude. There's no fucking precedent for what you're saying. Back to this Balrog thing. I actually thought the button mapping, the Balrog thing was funny because people were like, oh, well, no, you can hit it this way, you can hit it this way. In a sense, if you're arguing that hitting Balrogs took no dexterity, then why the fuck do you need button mapping again? I use that as an argument because I fucking win either way. So the people arguing that it doesn't take dexterity and it's not a big deal. Okay, well, if it takes no dexterity or executional skill to do this, why the fuck do you need button mapping then? What the fuck are you talking about? I've won either way with that argument. I don't think what you guys got what I was trying to say. I'm a little too fucking smart for you guys sometimes. Anyway. Again, anything that people are arguing, there's no whatever. People are trying to say like, and again, I don't. People don't want human error in video games. You're a human playing the game. I think we all want games to be played optimally, right? And there's a selfish nature in us, especially when we're competing against someone else. We want to be able to be the one that is playing the game optimally. We want to see in a tournament someone that's playing the game optimally. But don't you want to be seeing it played at a humanly optimally level? Man, English is hard, isn't it, dude? Don't you want to see it being played at a humanly optimal level, right? Otherwise, you can watch these fucking Taz videos where people just whatever, they just make these weird videos like that, whatever. It's like it's like a novelty, right? You want to be able to do this, right? It's selfish, right? You want to be able, like, you think that only you should be able to do this, right? Did you get what I'm saying? At like you're taking the human component out of a human game. We all want to see a game played optimally, but do you want to do it in a human way or a non-human way? And no one's even said like execution is a part of games. Like why are you guys like arguing this? This is so fucking weird, dude. It's very fucking bizarre, right? It's selfish of you. It's like you want to do like the game is only fun if you win, which again, fighting games are different because fighting games are a competitive endeavor. I understand that, but anyway, and I've talked about gameplay, right? And so let's go into this like Daigo thing that I saw, whatever, right? Um, he apparently said that he thinks that he didn't have natural skill at video games because he practiced a lot, right? I don't know. I don't know anything about this bullshit, right? I hear lots of people play video games for hours a day. It's lost on me. I don't get it, right? But people playing games 8 hours a day, fucking ridiculous to me. But whatever. Regardless of if he plays video games 8 hours a day or the fuck you play 8 hours a day, more power to you, props, right? Do whatever you want to do with your life. But are people do people actually remember? And this is how I'm gonna get into like a gameplay discussion. Do people remember one of the reasons that Daigo used to get hate back in the day? Because people would call him like a DP scrub. People were like, oh, he's just good because he just has such good guessing with DPs, whatever, right? You know what I mean? But is that not a natural skill? That is a gameplay part of video games, being able to guess. The random DP, even if it's scrubby to you, is a natural skill of being able to like outguess your opponent, right? I mean, isn't it right? I mean, you're guessing it. That's part of the mind game of DPs, right? But here's what happened, right? So a simple thing like a DP, the community or a lot of people in the community complained about. We don't like DPs. I mean, God, I mean, we've seen what DPs have become in video games nowadays, right? People don't even want you to build a reversal as a DP. What the move was made to anti-air and to beat shit, right? But they don't want you to build a reversal as a DP. It's fucking ridiculous, right? But anyway, again, this is more going to what I'm talking about gameplay wise. So people got mad at Daigo. Let's say Daigo only had natural skill. He had no other kind of skill. But his natural skill was good at guessing, right? Just like maybe you have your friend online, he DPs every 5 seconds. Who knows what the fuck? or maybe it's just a good guessing, right? That's still a natural skill. But anyway, so the community complains about this stuff. We don't like that simple things like this could beat us. Because back in the day, a single DP could take away a fifth of your life, dude. It's a influential thing of the match, right? Potentially speaking, right? So people complained about this. So as games progressed, they started adding in quotation marks, because I've said before, how many people that you know can do these Beat Mania combos but couldn't do a low forward to Super Fireball with Ryu and Super Turbo, right? So execution is, sometimes iffy, but so they started adding, though, in quotation marks, these more execution heavy games to combat the people that did not like simple things winning, simple gameplay elements. You know what I mean? So they started adding stuff like this. But then these jimmies, as I like to call them, they saw they also, these combos that they were adding to combat these random DPs, to combat, like, say, the normal idea of footsies or whatever is going on, whatever you deem simple in whatever was beating you, I suppose. They saw that even when these single DPs beating your poke were not as influential in the match, sweeping another person's low forward, whatever the fuck you're doing, they still saw that these combos that were now becoming more important to the game still were going to take execution, right? And they weren't going to win because people only want to win, which is, again, it's a fighting game. What are you going to do, right? It's the conundrum of a fighting game. We are versing someone else. But hopefully you get what I'm saying. The jimmies complain like, oh, this single DP, this has too much of an influence on the match. This is too easy. I don't want to lose if I'm just being outguessed by something. I want to be beaten by something that takes skillful. Games progress, quotation marks, and now there's more combos, etc. Well, the jimmies complained again like, oh, well, now I'm not going to lose to a single DP, but I'm going to lose to someone who can do a combo better than me. I think I'm getting fuzzy. Did I fuzz out? Get Pichu. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's like, well, so we tried to make the game easier for you in one way, give you another way to compete, but now you're complaining about combos. You're complaining that you have to get good at a game. It's like, okay, we've added more executional factors. Well, I want to build a button map because I still can't compete. I want to take away more of the human error. There's a human error in guessing. Did you know that? You have to guess. That's human error. You want to take the error out of like guessing. It's like, oh well, if I guess wrong on something, I don't want this DP to do as much damage. I don't want to have much influence on a match. Oh, if I knock the person down, I don't want to have this actually affect me. I don't want them to be able to do something from stopping me. You know what I mean? They have this whole wait your turn crap in video games. It's so fucking obnoxious and ridiculous. Oh, if I knocked you down, I should be able to do a media attack on you. You shouldn't be able to DP me. You shouldn't be able to guess. Execution to do the DP should not matter. I should win. Did you get what is people are playing contrived games nowadays. I've talked about this before. Street Fighter V is the most contrived Street Fighter ever. They made a 3D game. They tried to appeal to a 3D crowd. Made a Street Fighter game to appeal to a 3D crowd. Very contrived. You know what I mean? I've talked about this in other videos, right? Moves have too specific of a purpose. Are you even playing the game anymore? How much are you playing the game compared to like back in the day? The game developers have already so predetermined what move does what. They've given you turns in video games when your turn should only be when you pick your character. They've taken away more and more executional factor because you don't want execution part of the game. You don't want guessing a part of games. What do you want a part of games other than you want to win at the game? No one fucking like argues this like coherently or logically. Like, I don't understand. Like, this is why video games are ridiculous now. Why do you think and people are saying like, oh, games are so big nowadays. No, they're not, dude. I'm old enough to remember Street Fighter 2, dude. Fighting games are not bigger than they used to be. Being a nerd is more popular than it used to be because it just is. I'm not complaining, right? I mean, whatever. It is what it is, dude. But Fighting games aren't more popular nowadays with how easy everything is. You know what I mean? Arcades don't even really exist. When I went to Japan. Do you think arcades were better in Japan than when I remember as a kid in America? They weren't, dude. What are you guys talking about? Fighting games are not more popular than they were when I was a kid. Only being a nerd is. So that argument of like, oh, everything's more accessible because the everyone's playing it now. What are you talking about, dude? Like, can you actually argue? Like, can someone post a coherent argument here, dude? Like, if you want to have a serious conversation, be prepared to fucking have it. I can talk about gameplay. I can talk about anything, fucking dude, within reason. Don't ask me math. I'm pretty bad at math. But if you want to have a logical conversation, a deep conversation about video games, be prepared to have it. Don't have a conversation about something like, oh, I want to win at something, so this game sucks. That's not fucking real, dude. You want to take away guessing, so you add more execution in. But then wait a second, you realize you have to practice to get better at execution. Oh, well, let's get rid of execution. And again, that's, loosely said because there's most definitely execution in old school games, but you know what I mean? There's an idea, right? And again, like these Beat Mania combos, even Jimmy down the street is doing a Beat Mania combo. Who cares? You see fucking people on Twitter, absolutely obnoxious. I see people posting on Twitter, it's like, oh, I'm not a signed player, but I'm trying to be signed. I've gotten 10th at this tournament, 12th at this tournament, and I made this combo. Here's your fucking gold star, dude. You got 10th place at a video game. You think you should be signed player? Like, what is this, dude? Like, I understand everyone is special. Everyone is special, but at the same time, everyone is not special. You know what I mean? Like, hopefully, you're doing something that actually makes you special, dude. Like, you know what I mean? So again, no one's saying it, and I read these comments, and I'm trying to have a logical conversation, but the people that argue aren't having real things. They're just saying they want tool-assisted things. And it's one thing, okay, if you want to do something cool, but don't fucking say that you deserve money for that, that this is a competitive endeavor if you're taking away the human aspect of it. What are you doing in this competitive endeavor, dude? If you're like, oh, another thing too, I forgot to say this, dude. Oh, you can hit these everything's with my buttons, dude, blah, blah. Well, you know what, dude? Here, dude, I could fucking sit on this control. I could sit on 6 all buttons, and I could, like, again, oh, God, it's like I'm jacking someone off. I could take the controller, do a Hadouken, and I just negative edge the fireball, too, dude. What the fuck, dude? Yeah, dude, like, is that where we're fucking getting? You know what games also have predetermined into the games? You can pause in the game, dude. The game developers must have wanted you to pause in the game. This is the logic you're getting at. Hey, it's in the game. Why can't I pause when we're playing? Right? Can I pause? Pikachu, can I pause? Mm, I guess. It's too early in the morning, dude. Don't make me do it. Don't make me do a cute voice. Anyway, like I guess I can pause, right? It's in the game, dude. I mean, right? Is that your logic? So again, comment on the videos if you want. I find it fun when people dislike it because the people aren't actually giving actual real arguments. But and again, yeah, like I said, I've had more gameplay discussion videos, but be sure you can keep up. It's on my channel. You know what I mean? But I think people focus on the execution because I don't know. I guess it really butt hurts them. I guess I don't know. I feel like this is why I actually don't really care to talk about video games too much because people aren't prepared to have a logical conversation about them. So anyway, yeah.